Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Tony with Executive Edge. We're back for another week of supervisory techniques. So this week we're going to touch on how to deal with personnel problems, how to properly manage personnel. So you have some employees that work for you that are constantly not doing what they're supposed to do, not following policy. They're basically just coming to work, collecting a paycheck, and the work is not getting completely done, and you're getting a little tired of it because, like I've also always said, their performance is a direct reflection on you. So what you need to do is you need to put your big boy pants on, you need to be firm, and you need to make sure that you tell them that this isn't going to be tolerated, and if they don't like it, there's the door they can get out. No. Bad supervisor. You never want to do that to your employees. You never want to become aggressive with your employees. There is, however, one way that you can deal with this. I like to think of this method as praise, change, rearrange. It's a three-step process. Unfortunately, sometimes things don't always go the way that they're supposed to. Every once in a while, you'll have an employee or employees that have strayed away from the status quo. They're not doing all the things that they should be doing. This normally happens when you fail to recognize it early enough to be able to redirect them to the direction that they need to go. Hopefully this hasn't happened. Hopefully you've noticed that this is a problem and you've realized that you need to address this problem before the problem gets any worse. So how do you do that? First things first, you need to make sure that you identify which employee it is that is the one that you need to have your conversation with. When you have the conversation with this employee, you're going to employ the praise, change, rearrange method. So Tony, what is the praise, change, rearrange method? I'll tell you exactly what it is. The praise, change, rearrange method is a very simple process of how to address employee issues with the employee in question. So let's be clear. Most people do not go to a job with the intentions on not doing anything that they were hired to do. Most people will not apply for a job that they're not qualified to work at. This does happen sometimes, and that is another issue for another video altogether. So assuming that this person was qualified for the job to begin with, and we're assuming that they've made it through the probationary period. So they've been displaying that they are capable of doing the job. So at this point, what you need to do is bring them back to be able to do the job on the level that you expect them to do the job at. So this is where praise, change, rearrange comes in. The first step, praise. Make sure that you pick out 2 to 3 different things, policy and procedure related, that this employee does well, and express that to the employee. I'll give an example. Employee X, I appreciate the fact that you're always coming to work on time. When you come to work, you start working within a certain amount of time. You're always wearing the uniform, if a uniform is applicable, or you're always dressed in a professional manner. I noticed that you talk to your customers and you're always pleasant when you talk to your customers. So you've picked out multiple things that this employee does well. You express to them that you've noticed that yes, they do some things well. Now you need to express to them the behavior that needs to change. So maybe this employee is getting into arguments with their fellow employees. And because they're getting into arguments with their fellow employees, this is causing a disruptance within the workplace. Realistically, you can't have that because that is going to interact negatively on organizational morale. And again, as I've already mentioned, if you don't address this problem early enough, it's going to turn into an even bigger problem. Okay? So, you express to them, employee X, I've noticed there's been some disagreements between you and various employees within the office that have become quite loud, or maybe they haven't become quite loud. But express to them what it is that they're doing or what has happened that needs to be addressed. So now you praise them on the work that they do well, the policies and procedures that they follow, the way that they do their job, their attitude for the most part. You've addressed what issues need to be changed. This is the change portion of praise change. So now you come into the final step, rearrange. I understand you may be having certain issues going on. If there's any issues that we can help you with, always utilize we. You represent the organization. So since you represent the organization, make it known that it's not just that you want them to do well. Make it known to them that there's policies and procedures that the organization expects to be followed. So therefore, as a conglomerate, we need you to do certain things. Become one with the organization. I want this employee to become one with the organization. So you need to make them feel as though they're part of the organization. So if there's anything that I can help you with to get you to be that employee that does XYZ, to get you to be that employee that limits the disagreements within the office. Maybe there's something that I haven't noticed. This is the time to tell me so that I can help you. Because at the end of the day, what we want cohesion within the office. We want a non-confrontational workplace. We want people to come to work and be comfortable, because when they come to work and they're comfortable, the work gets done. And if the work gets done, then that reflects positive on how you are as a leader, supervisor, or manager. So again, remember, address these problems early as soon as you notice that there is a problem. If someone brings the problem to your attention, don't just sit on it. Make sure that you look into it. Find out if there's a problem. Find out if there's anything that needs to be addressed on an organizational level. Sometimes people do have bad days, and you do have to take that into consideration. So is this an isolated event? Is this something that happens all the time? These are all the things that you need to do your due diligence as an effective supervisor or manager to make sure that you get taken care of. I hope this video was helpful for you. As I said before, I try to put these videos out every week. If you like the content, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel down below. Until next week, I'm Tony. This is Executive Edge. Keep being the great leader that you are. I'll see you next week.